Every once in a while, you might think about your childhood. Maybe you're looking at some old pictures and you start to compare things from how they are now to how they were then. I mean, duh, of course. As you grow up, you start to get stressed out from things like a job or school. Nowadays, everyone, even 4-year-olds, seem to have phones or tablets to watch brain rot and YouTube shorts and whatever they want. But phones can also be very good for you. You can learn many things and you can talk with someone who's on the other side of the globe. But in reality, most people spend 2 hours or more scrolling through social media rather than going outside and touching grass. As much as phones bring people together, they can easily tear others apart too. Oh my god. Think back to when you were a little kid. I'm sure that the experience can be very different for everyone, but there's always that one friend who you could always trust. You could tell them anything, and you could always just play with them. You could like just be chill around them. Maybe they were a neighbor or a classmate, but now, do you still talk to them? I mean, if you do, then that's actually crazy because nowadays it's pretty hard to find a good friend, like someone who's not fake, and it's even harder trying to keep them because many things can change. Like sometimes the thing with friendships is that even the strongest ones can fail because maybe words can break a friendship, maybe there's personal issues, or maybe something that you just can't control, like them moving away to a different country. And many people that I used to talk to, they just disappeared. I mean, not disappeared, but they moved on. Maybe they went to a different school, maybe they moved, but there's you can't really control their people. Many things can happen, and that's just something you have to deal with sometimes. I remember how me and my neighbors would just go outside randomly sometimes, play tag, ride bikes, just the usual, causing mayhem. But nowadays, most plans don't even make it out the group chat, which is pretty sad. And even the weather seems to have a hard time deciding when it's going to be nice or not because sometimes there's a tornado, sometimes it's snowing, sometimes it's 100 degrees outside. Like you can never be sure what the weather is. Now it's almost like 4 years later, and the effects of the pandemic, they're basically gone. Now, if you have COVID, you can just go get a quick shot, just like the flu, and it'll be gone in a few days. But emotionally, many people were still left devastated because imagine being cooped up for 2 years, maybe a little bit less, but for 2 years in your house, not being able to go outside with other people you want, not be not being able to go to say restaurants, sporting events, and wearing a mask whenever you did go outside. I mean, I don't know, but people had to go through that, and other people had to go through loss. Maybe they lost a close family member, maybe a friend. But if you would have told a 2018 version of yourself that a massive worldwide pandemic would have completely changed the way people worked and lived in a year, I don't think they would have thought about it too much because at the time, other things were going on, and honestly, even if I did think about it, I would just be shocked because imagine just your whole world. And I mean, who is going to be on an Xbox 360? Everyone moved on to the whole new generation, and that's just sad because sometimes you just want to play a little round of Minecraft, and there's no one you can do that with. But another thing that led to people just leaving their friends behind was definitely COVID because I remember that before it hit, my friends would still come out to play. But after it was announced that people had to be quarantined, they had to stay indoors, it seems as though the world just like, the color that it had before, it just all faded away and now everything's so gray and gloomy. But this all brings us back to where we are now, the present. Most people just stay indoors, on their phone all day, and they're completely fine with that. Others just game all day, and I mean, I have no problem. I can do that too. But the thing is that when we were 8 years old, we didn't need none of that. You could easily give us a set of Legos, and we could be on that for many hours just trying to solve it. But now Our phones kind of have taken away all that creativity we once had, but there's just one thing that's certain, you gotta keep moving forward because the world is always moving, and if you don't move with it, you're gonna get left behind. So, if there's one thing you can take from this video, is that things are not the same as it was.